All right, guys, how's it going? I am back with another video. This is going to be my week three recap video where I just dive into all the week three games, kind of give my reaction to the games, break down my thought process. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's dive straight in here. Oh boy, starting off strong here. So this was the Thursday game. This is last week's game. And yeah, my team, this was one of the most agonizing games of football I've watched in my entire life. This is kind of the Patriots that a lot of people expected this year. That was, I don't remember. Oh God, I just don't remember when we were this bad. Oh, actually, I do, because we were just as bad last season. This is pretty much how my team played a majority of the year last year. We played like this against Dallas last year. We got shut out at home against the Saints like this last year. The only reason we even scored points was because we got a PI call on, I'm pretty sure it was Tyquan Thornton was the receiver, which was a complete BS sack call that they ruled on the field with Brissett. He was not down. That was complete BS. We did have one good drive in the third quarter where we looked like pretty good drive. He drove straight down the field, and then Brissett took a bad sack, got us out of field goal range. That was just offense. We had nothing. That was just embarrassing. No run game. Simmons had another fumble. No passing game. The one positive was Pop Douglas got involved. He had a pretty solid game in this one, so that was the probably the one positive. Yeah, 7 for 69, of course. So that's a pretty good stat line right there. Yeah, just May. Yep, May. Got to talk about this. May got put in at the end there. His first NFL action in the regular season. Obviously, he played in the preseason, but his first action in the regular season. I don't know. He looked fine. Obviously, it was garbage time. The game was over. He did have a nice zinger on fourth down to Pop Douglas. He had a nice scramble on 4th and 8. He had a good pass on 3rd and I think 2 to convert the chains. He got sacked twice, if I remember right. That was just, I don't know, may look good. I think Brissett starts this week against the Niners and then probably put up another shitty offensive game. And I think May starts week 5 against the Dolphins, probably for the rest of the season. That's my bold prediction here. There's reports coming out that said May is expected to take over as the starter soon anyway. I think it'll be week 5, but we shall see. Just abysmal. Jets outplayed us in literally everything. I mean, just look at the stats here. This describes the game pretty well. We just played like absolute shit. Their run game gashed us. Rodgers looked like classic Aaron Rodgers. Really good passing game from him. Looked really good. Our defense definitely, obviously the worst of the year. We're only 3 games in, but offensively, we just could not stop them. Just we missed tackles. We missed over 100 yards of tackles. I want to say we missed 13 tackles. Just an off game from the defense. Not too concerned. I think our defense will be fine. This is just a bad game. Maybe we retired on a short week. Who knows? Just a bad game. I'm not too concerned about our defense, but our offense has played bad the whole year. Obviously, it was more evident in this game that we lost, got blown out. But uh, it's just an awful all around game. Just absolutely terrible. I mean, time possession they had it over 40 minutes. That's a problem. The only reason they didn't score probably a touchdown every drive is because they got 2 holding calls that stalled 2 of their drives out. Otherwise, they probably scored a touchdown every drive. That was just, well, they got the field goal at the end of it. That was just awful. Just an awful game. So glad this game is past us. And looking forward to this week. Oh, wait, we play the Niners, so we're probably going to get blown out again. Can't wait for that game. Um, Giants Browns. So this is an interesting one. I was really confident with the Browns in this game. And opening kickoff, Giants fumbled it. The Browns' first offense play, touchdown Cooper. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a rough one for the Giants here. Basically, just spotted the Browns 7 points. And then after that, the Giants scored 21 straight. The Browns offense had like nothing going for it whatsoever. To the fourth quarter, they had a good drive. They got a 2 point conversion, cut it to 6. Then the Browns defense forced upon them. Like, yeah, the Browns are going to steal this game. They had a good drive going, and Ford fumbled. turned it over. Then the Giants missed the field goal that pretty much would have iced the game. And the Browns had another chance, and they failed to convert on fourth and I think it was 4th and 2. Watson was just short of the line. Really good game for the Giants defense. I think they got, I want to say 8 sacks if I remember right. Yeah, they got 8 sacks on Watson. They've been playing pretty good football the past 2 weeks. They should have beaten the Commanders. Went on a rant about that. My week 2 recap video. Definitely should have won that game. Graham Gano is healthy, so they should be 2-1. Their offenses look good, and the Vikings are 3-0. They obviously look like arguably the best team in the league. So maybe that week 1 loss wasn't as bad as we thought initially, even though they played horrible. Neighbors has been playing good. He played good. He's played good all 3 weeks, even when they got blown out by the Vikings in the opener. Daniel Jones has looked pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, pretty good game from Danny Dimes. Uh, yeah, Neighbors looking good. They gave it to him on an end around, so they're getting him involved rushing too. Robinson, I picked him up off of waivers because I had Hollywood Brown and IR, so I didn't start him this week, so of course he had a good game. But pretty good pickup for me there. My team's 0-3 in that league anyway. Singletary, he's getting it going. Pretty good week the past 2 games. Um, yeah, the Browns offense looked, I mean, yeah, this is pretty good story right here. The Giants just outplayed them. You can tell here. Um, Browns offense looked something is just wrong off with the Browns. I picked them to go 12-5, so I'm really disappointed. I mean, you're at home against the Giants. You should have won this game. It's just their defense. Well, actually, their defense played. They allowed 21 straight, and then they kind of clamped up. They shut them out in the second half. But they're off. Something's just wrong with their offense. Obviously their offense line was beat up. Um, they trying to remember. Yeah, they brought some guys back, then they got hurt in this one, then they're out again. Just kind of a mess for the Browns. Offensively, Watson, I don't know what the hell has happened to him, but he's just not. He actually played once they started getting that touchdown drive. They cut it to 6. He's kind of played pretty well from that point out. That touchdown to Cooper to start the game was good, but he is just something is seriously wrong with them. They play the Raiders this week. I'm very back and forth in that game who I'm going to pick, but something is wrong with the Browns. Giants are playing good football. Good for them. They had a big game tonight against the Cowboys. They could definitely win that one. And that'll be a good game. Yeah, good points in the Giants. Yep, this game. Talked about it in my picks video. Had the Eagles originally, changed to the Saints, so this one's probably going to bite me on the ass, and that's exactly what happened. Eagles outplayed the Saints by a mile in this game, at least to my eye. The stats show that too. The Saints were up 3-0 entering the whole game. Their opening drive, they got a field goal that was pretty lucky. It bounced off the post there in. I thought it missed it first. But they were 3-0 heading into the fourth quarter. The Eagles were moving the ball up and down the field pretty much the whole game, and they were just getting stopped because they were going for it on fourth down. They get stopped. They turned it over. It hurts a pick in the red zone. I think the first play of the second quarter, if I remember right, he had a strip sack on him. Hurts. Um, oh yeah, then there was a fourth down. I think there's I want to say 14 seconds left. It was 4th and 1 or 2. Eagles had one timeout and they went for it and got stopped on they faked the tush push and they did the handoff that they did against the Commanders last year in one game. I think it was the game in Washington. And yeah, they got so even if they get that, you're gonna have to burn the timeout. You're gonna have around 11, 12 seconds left, and I want to say they were at around the 10, 15-yard line. So you're going to have maybe a shot or two into the end zone there. That is not worth it to me. That's just a bad coaching decision. Nick Sirianni, I think, at the end of the season gets fired. I'll be surprised if they keep Sirianni at the end of this year. And honestly, there was the whole debate about the Saquon drop week 2. The play call would have worked if Saquon caught it, but Sirianni took heat for that. He just he's getting a lot of criticism. He's made a lot of questionable decisions. I think he's gone at the end of the year. That's a prediction I have there. But getting back to this game specifically, Saints offense came back down to earth. Eagles defense, really good game. Saints offense pretty much had nothing going for it until the fourth. They had a nice drive at the end to take a touch. They got the touchdown to Olave. That was a good drive. Um, yeah, the Saints defense kept keeping them in the game. They got a block punt late. They failed to convert on fourth. Saquon had that touchdown run in the fourth quarter. And then even the Saints hit the lead. It was 3rd and 16. You had Smith and Brown out, so you know exactly who that they're going to throw to Goddard. That's the only good receiver they have left, pretty much. And 3rd and 16, and it's a simple crossing route. Goddard ran man coverage, and two DBs ran into each other, and Goddard's wide open. Uh, that's I talked about it in my videos, but never been sold on Hurts as a pure passer. That was exactly what I was like. I cannot wait to see Hurts is going to have to pass to win the game against a good defense. His top two targets are out, and then they blow the coverage and give Hurts a wide open, basically check down to Dallas Goedert to bail the Eagles offense. I'll go 70 something yards. That was just unacceptable. They shot them there. They shot them on fourth down. They win the game. This game to me was just one of those games where I just kind of had a gut feeling the Eagles going to win this game, especially as the game went on. The Saints were up 3-0, but they were getting outplayed. To me, it was kind of only a matter of time until the Eagles won. It's exactly what they did. Eagles get some injuries piling up though. Something is just they're 2-1, should be 3-0, but something is just not right. I hate the Eagles, so maybe it's just I'm my bias against them, but um, something is just not right with the Eagles. They just something's off about them. They do not look like a very elite team to me. At least start the year, they kind of look like the team that played the back half of the last year after that 49ers loss. Um, but yeah, something's wrong with the Eagles to me, even though they won. Saints came back down to earth. They're getting injuries piled up. I think their defense is still good. Their offense, I think, will obviously not 40 plus like they did the first 2 weeks. I think their offense will be better than it was in this game for the year, but I think the Saints definitely came back down to earth in this game. Um, really pissed that I changed my pick in that game though. Really pissed. This game. So this game, I was fairly confident with the Texans. Obviously, this one couldn't have been more wrong. Vikings dominated this whole game. Brian Flores and his defense has been a story the first couple weeks of the year. They are just very impressive, and they're banged up too. They get a lot of injuries, and they're still balling out. Purdy talked about how his scheme is crazy. Brian Flores' defensive scheme, and Texans scored 7 points in this game. So obviously, their defensive scheme is still crazy. And Stroud in the Texans offense has been electric this season. Um, Texans had a really bad sequence in this game where it was 14-0. Um, yeah, they missed the field goal before that, but it was 14-0. They were, I want to say, around the 30 of the Vikings, and they had, I think, three false starts in a row, backed them up out of field goal range. That was just, I mean, that's points gone right there. That was awful. Um, yeah, the Vikings just dominated. Sam Darnold looked good in this game. Um, you wouldn't really just based off the stats, you wouldn't really know it. But I mean, the Texans had drives where they moved the ball well. They just couldn't score it. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot. They had that Stroud threw two picks. If I think he threw two picks. I know he threw at least one. I'm pretty sure he threw two. Turnovers hurt the Texans. Aaron Jones looked good in this one. Sam Darnold got hurt, but I think he's okay. Yeah, the Vikings defense just insane. Vikings offense really well coached. Love Kevin O'Connell. Just a really good game from the Vikings. If you look at the stats here, it looks like a pretty even game, but the Vikings just slaughtered them in this one. They thoroughly outplayed them. Texans offense was just not good in this game. Just out of sync. That's a good way to put it. Vikings defense just clicking on all cylinders. Good game from the Vikings offense. Yeah, just yes. Darnold threw four, not a lot of yards, but he threw four touchdowns. Yeah, Jones played good. Jefferson played good. He only had a couple bad drops. Yeah, just the Texans had no rushing in this game. Yeah, this like right here, these stats, the receivers, that's like a typical Texans offensive game. Maybe the numbers are switched up. Collins is dig stat line, vice versa, whatever. But just a weird game for the Texans. Not a good game. Vikings are playing good. Really happy to see that one. Um, oh my God, this is the game that eliminated me from my survivor pool. I had the Bucks, and I don't know what the hell happened. In my picks video for this week or this past week, I said I feel very confident with the Bucks. I'll be absolutely shocked if the Broncos win. The only way, or the only logically sound reasoning the Broncos could win this game is because Todd Bowles is the head coach, has a history of playing teams that he should beat, and this team just doesn't show up. This is exactly this game. Sean Payton he's had his number. He always plays well offense. I didn't even think about that picking this game. I wish I did think I still would have picked the Bucs, but Sean Payton has Todd Bowles' number. Really efficient game from the Broncos offense. They look really good. Their defense has been balling out this year. Played really well in this game. Bucs scored a touchdown in the second quarter. They got shut out the rest of the game. Just Baker didn't really look that good. Bucky Irving looked good. Rachaad White's been a complete boss this season. I even won two of my teams, so I would especially know that. So good stats here. Sums up the game pretty well. Broncos just played good. Bo Nix, really efficient game. After that first quarter, they only scored 12 combined points. They were moving the ball well. Nix did a couple nice runs. Their offense was just clicking. So that was a good offensive game from them. Um, yeah, the Bucs are banged up defensively. I think that definitely caught up with them. They just cannot go 3-0. They've been 2-0 the past three seasons, and they cannot win that third game. A guy still have that game against the Packers, week 3 of the 2022 season, when they should have won that one. I'm like the biggest Tom Brady fan on the planet, so that game pissed me off so much when they didn't have Evans, they didn't have Godwin, they didn't have Julio Jones. They were so banged up, and Tom Brady let a game-winning drive or tying drive, scored at the end, and then they were going to go for two, and there was a delay a game that completely screwed them. Otherwise, Fournette, they ran it, hit a walk-in lane to tie the game. Game goes to overtime. Who knows what happened? So they should have won that one. That game is still ingrained in my head. I'm still pissed off about that game. But anyway, flash forward 2 years. They got slaughtered by the Eagles week 3 last year. But yeah, they just cannot go 3-0 for some reason. Bucks had a fumble late in the game. That yeah, Broncos defense been pretty impressive, balling out. Um, yeah, 7 sacks to the Bucks. Their offensive line, and Hutchinson alone got 4.5 last week. So their offensive line has not been good the past 2 weeks. It looked pretty good week 1, but yeah, just a efficient game from Nix. They had a good rushing game. Sutton had a good game. Yeah, not much went good for the Bucs, except Otton. Fine, I needed him to step up for my fantasy team. He's my emergency tight end. I Njoku hurt. Um, yeah, Godwin played well. Mike Evans did pretty much nothing. Not a good game from the Bucs. Good game from the Broncos in this one. Bucs just gonna get healthy. This game. So I had the Packers, assuming Love was going to play, and as soon as I saw Love was out, Willis was in, I changed my pick. It happened during my picks video. I changed it to the Titans. Obviously, this game bit me in the ass. I went 0-6 in my, or how many? What I went? I don't think I picked a game correctly in my 1 p.m. games. I was like, I don't know what the hell's happened season with all these upsets. Just absolutely ridiculous. I need the upsets to stop around week 4 or week 5 is when they usually stop happening. Obviously, there's going to be upsets, but not at this level. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm like 2 games with 500 in my picks league that I won I won with a really good record. I've done really good with my picks ever since I've done it, like year after year after year. I do good, but I'm not off to a good start this year thanks to all these upsets. But anyway, getting back to this game, Malik Willis looked really good. I thought the reason the Titans were going to win this game with Willis in was because Willis can really only win if you get the run game going. You have a really good running game. Your defense balls out. Exactly what happened week 2. Run game going, defense balls out. That's the only way I think Malik Willis can really win as a starter. That proved that theory wrong. Malik Willis looked really good throwing the ball. I don't think he had a game with the Titans where he threw over 100 yards. He threw 200 in this game alone, over 200, 202. He had a couple nice deep bombs. Surprised me because they've limited him to mostly short passing against the Colts last week. He had a couple good rushes too. Yeah, 6 for 73. Really good game from Malik Willis. Jacobs didn't really get too much going. Uh, Will Levis, another bad turn. Not as bad as the first 2 weeks. You just didn't see Jair Alexander threw a hitch route on the break a little too early. Just didn't see Alexander. Um, yeah, Titans scored touchdown after the Packers scored a touchdown. Their opening drive from the Packers offense. Just kind of too much for the Titans in this one. The Titans scored, then they stopped the Packers. They had their chance. I was like, are they actually gonna, make this interesting? Then the Packers defense just stiffened up. Xavier McKinney, 3 picks in 3 weeks. Titans 0-3, just kind of a mess right now. Defensively, this is kind of the game that they I don't want to say fell apart, but obviously their worst defensive game of the year. They had really good defense or defensive performance week 1 and 2, or weeks 1 and 2 rather. But this one, not a good defensive performance from the Titans, really. Yeah, 188 rush yards. I love Matt LaFleur, such a good game planner. I love breaking down film of his offense. Really good coach. Yeah, the Packers had a lot of penalties too. But yeah, good game from the Packers. They play the Vikings. It'll be a good game. Love it. Looks like should be back. Yeah, that'll be. I don't even know what to think about Malik Willis anymore. If he's not back and he has to go against the Vikings, I'm probably going to pick the Vikings, but I don't want to bite myself in the ass and keep disrespecting Malik Willis. But I don't know. I'm going to have to see how it plays out. Titans kind of catch a break with the Dolphins this week, so they should be able to win that game. Oh, this game's next. This is another game that bit me in the ass. I had the Bears in this game. Definitely defensive game. Richardson did not look very good passing. He had a horrible, horrible turnover in the red zone. He like shuffled past to the in like triple coverage. That was just bad. Which, by the way, I just found out I'm older than Anthony Richardson, so that makes me feel old. But Bears offense had its moments in this one. They actually looked competent for parts of the game. They looked like an NFL offense. I say Caleb Williams made 52 pass attempts. That's a problem, but he had 363. That's good. He had 2 picks. One of them was kind of ugly. Get the other one, but one of his touchdowns was to Kmet on blown coverage, like right before the 2-minute warning. He scored with 2 minutes and 1 second left. Blanking on his other touchdown here. Get his other touchdown at the top of my head, but he had a nice play action pass to Romeo Odunze, and I think right after that is when he threw a pick on the sideline there. Would have been a pick six, but the DB just couldn't stay in bounds. Yeah, Richardson didn't really look too good. Taylor got it going, 23 for $110, 2 touchdowns, kind of gashed the Bears defense. Bears defense definitely played well enough to win this game. This is, a punt-heavy game, kind of sloppy offense throughout. Offenses kind of picked it up in the second half. But yeah, the Bears offense is just, I don't know if it's Shane Waldron, if it's Caleb Williams being bad. Their offensive line is definitely bad, but something's just not clicking. Even though this is definitely, I think, their best offensive game. But they had pretty much nothing in the run game. Let me see the stats here. Yeah, pretty much nothing in the run game. Again, yeah, just I mean, they outgained the Colts by almost 100 yards. Passing, they gashed them in. Rushing is where the Colts killed them. They had more first downs, just the turnovers kind of killed them. They had a better time of possession. Yeah, Caleb Williams had a chance to be the hero, down 2 scores late. They had to put together a good drive, scored a touchdown, and then Bears defense was to punt. Caleb Williams could have been the hero, game-winning drive, taking the lead, and he got strip sacked. So yeah, I thought at the end there the Bears defense is going to force a punt and give Caleb Williams another chance, but Taylor got the first down. Good to see the Colts get the win though. I'm a Pats fan again, so I'm not really too high on the Colts. We have a pretty good rivalry with them, especially back the Brady Manning days. But when we were both good teams, but well, Colts aren't bad now, but you guys know what I mean. Championship level teams. But yeah, good to see the Colts get the win. They're a good team, so if they would have fell to 0-3, that kind of would have sucked. But Bears just could have figured out offensively. Their defense is so good, it's getting wasted. It's getting wasted. This game, yep. So what a surprise! Another game I picked wrong that could have gone either way. Chargers look good to start this game. They had the touchdown off of blown coverage. I'm like, yes, a 50-50 game. I got right. Like, this is going to help me in my pick'em leagues. A good amount of people pick the Steelers. And then they got some injuries. Bosa went out. Their defense did not really play well in the second half. They kind of got killed. They had a couple bad penalties. They ended up holding the Steelers to a field goal, but they had a couple bad penalties. I'm pretty sure it was the Steelers' opening drive of the second half. Herbert got hurt. They just have no receiving weapons on the Chargers. I feel bad for Herbert. Dobbins didn't really have a very good game. That's the problem with the Chargers is they have no receivers. They have to get the run game going, and the run game gets stopped, then they're gonna have a tough time offensively. But they just gotta get healthy. You had 2 starting linemen hurt. Bosa got hurt. And then what a surprise, the NFL suspends Derwin James right as they're about to play the Chiefs. I wonder if that's a coincidence or not. Chiefs getting bailed out again. Who could have guessed? I'll talk about that game. They also got bailed out with a missed flag later. But yeah, good game from the Steelers. Their defense has been insane. Their run game got going late, took advantage of the injuries to the Chargers. Fields looks good. Just looking at the stats here, the Steelers definitely deserved to win this game. They outplayed them. Um, yeah, I'm surprised it was honestly even. I mean, the Steelers they could have scored 27, but they went in at the 1 yard line at the end there just to kneel it out. Steelers outplayed them. They deserved to win this game. Chargers just gotta get healthy. Um, yeah, hopefully Herbert's healthy. Obviously, that's probably the biggest one for them. Steelers look good. They play the Colts. It'll be a good game. Yeah, good. Again, not a big Steelers guy. He's a Pats fan, but good for them. Good defense, respectable offense. Good game for them overall. That was a pretty good one to watch. That quick game, a lot of running clock in that one. At least I got that prediction right. Dolphins Seahawks. This game kind of went as I expected. Dolphins had pretty much no offense. They got 3 points off. Geno Smith did a pick that basically gave the Dolphins 3 points by default because they were at like the 5 yard line. I'm pretty sure when they got the pick. Seahawks just dominated them. Defense, they had nothing going for the Dolphins offense there. Mike McDonald, really good defensive coach. Seahawks are 3-0, very sneaky team. They were on my sleeper teams. They haven't really played anyone, but they had Bo Nix, then they had us with Brissett, which we should have beaten them. Really pissed off about that game still. And then they have Skylar Thompson and I almost said Mike White for some reason, but Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle. I just remember his Hail Mary pick six against the Dolphins last year. That was so bad when he was on the Jets. But yes, Thompson looked bad. Boyle, can't really expect too much from Tim Boyle, but very conservative game plan for the Dolphins offensively. A lot of short passing. They pretty much had nothing going in the run game. Just not a good. Dolphins defense actually looked like serviceable in this game. it was 17-3 for most of it, so 14 is doable. And then the Seahawks got a touchdown late. Yeah, just I mean the Seahawks offense looked good, but Dolphins defense looked serviceable. Just Dolphins, they need Tua back, but obviously they don't want to rush him back. He said he's not going to retire. They have Tyler Huntley. As soon as he knows the playbook, I think they should start him. I think Tyler Huntley is definitely better than Skylar Thompson. So Tyler Huntley, I think, could get them by, be a good game manager until Tua comes back. Yeah, this game kind of went as I expected. I was very confident with the Seahawks, and they backed it up. Good performance by them. This game, oh, but this is a shocker for a lot of people. I had the Raiders in my survivor pool as my pick, and as soon as they announced Dalton was starting the Panthers, I changed it. Or maybe not immediately. I think I thought about it and then I changed it to the Bucks. So that was why once the Bucks lost in the early window, I was so pissed off. So I'm like, the Raiders are definitely going to win now because I changed my pick. So that made me feel a little better that they lost. I would have been wrong either way. Um, Andy Dalton looked like an MVP candidate. He looked great in this game. The Panthers offense had a great game. Their defense played pretty well. Raiders got, kind of two garbage time touchdowns. Otherwise, the Panthers defense played really well. It was 7-7, so the Raiders scored. I think it was their opening drive. They got a touchdown. So I was like, wow, like, is this going to be a back and forth, like shootout type of game? But nope. The Panthers defense stiffened up. Their offense could not be stopped. I think it might have been a good case of the Raiders they didn't know what to prepare for offensively, the Panthers. They were obviously preparing for Bryce Young. There was really no film with the Andy Dalton, Dave Canales offense with the Panthers. Dalton only started one game with the Panthers last year, but again, Canales, new coach, new system. Maybe they just didn't know what they were preparing for too well. But yeah, this game to me just kind of showed it's only one game, but Dave Canales, his system, his play calling didn't seem to be the main issue. Obviously, you're putting up 36 points against a pretty solid defense. The Raiders, it's probably more so Bryce Young just being horrible. Obviously, it helps that Dalton's a vet. He can probably read defenses, read the field better. Rushing, Chuba Hubbard looked really good. Deontay Johnson looked like a stud. Yeah, they thoroughly outplayed the Raiders. They very much so. I'm surprised the Raiders even got that many offensive yards. A lot of it was in the fourth quarter, but in garbage time pretty much. But Panthers thoroughly outplayed them. They look really good. They played the Bengals this week, so obviously who were 0-3, disappointing. I'll talk about Bengals a little later. My Super Bowl pick is 0-3. This has just been such a disaster of a season for me so far. But really good game from the Panthers. I was very impressed. Dalton had a very, very, very good game. He had an absolute dime to Thielen touchdown. Thielen got hurt. I think he's on IR, they announced. So that sucks for them. But Panthers, good game. If they that was an entertaining game to watch. So for the Panthers, good to see them actually play competent football. If they play like that against the Bengals, they should win the game. So that's Panthers could be 2-2. It's not too unrealistic. This game. So Niners Rams. Boy, did the Niners pull this game. They had the game won. They were pretty much dominating the whole game. I think they outplayed the Rams in this one. They were up 10. Then the Rams got that field goal. Then their defense forced a punt. Rams got the touchdown. Purdy had a really, really efficient game. This is one of his best games as a pro to me. I didn't watch him at college, so I can't speak for like his whole football career, but definitely as a pro, I think this is one of his better games. Just with all the injuries. The Rams are just beat to absolute hell, but the Niners have a lot of injuries too. They were missing, especially offensively. Samuel was out. They had a bunch of obviously McCaffrey's out. They're pretty banged up too. Yeah, but then yes, the Rams tie with the touchdown. Purdy could have been the hero. Game-winning drive. He hits Ronnie Bell right in the hands, basically set them up in field goal range, win the game, and he dropped it. And then the Rams got a good punt return, then they got that flag, and that was pretty much the game from there. The Niners got pretty far with that last effort pitch play though, that was entertaining. They I think they got to like the 30-yard line. They got pretty close. But the Niners, they're going to be pissed off when they play my team, the Patriots, this week. That they should have had this game. They outplayed the Rams, I think. I mean, yeah, just look at this. They outplayed the Rams. The Rams stole this game. Literally in every category. Technically the Rams got more fourth down. The Niners or fourth downs. The Niners got, 100%. They only went for one. Yeah, I don't know how the hell the Rams won this game. I guess penalties, that's a big part. Uh, I think the Niners had 6 drops. That's another big part. Obviously, Ronnie Bell's at the end of the game there. That one sucks. Uh, obviously, losing a fumble, that doesn't help. But yeah, Stafford, I think Stafford played better than his stats showing this one. 24 rushes for Kyren. That's insane. Pretty good game from Kyren. 2 touchdowns. Tutu Atwell. He caught that deep pass that helped set the game tying touchdown up. I don't know how that. Jennings went absolutely off. He was on my bench. I didn't even think to start him. That was stupid of me. Jordan Mason played fairly well. Ayuk, I think he had a couple of drops. Yeah, Ronnie Bell had that big drop. The Niners outplayed them. They definitely should have won this game. They blew it. The Rams stole this one completely. Niners should have had this game, especially with all the injuries. And again, the Niners are injured, but the Rams are more injured. They should have won this game, the Niners. They're going to be pissed off that they let that one get away from them. And unfortunately, they'll be taking out on my team. So I can't wait for that one. This game, Lions, Cardinals, pretty good game. More of a defensive game than I was anticipating. Lions defense has been playing pretty well this season. Probably better than their offense. The Lions offense, they went right down the field. I think in their open drive scored a touchdown. I'm like, yep, here we go. The Lions defense is back. I mean, their offense is back. And then the Cardinals defense kind of stiffened up. The Lions they scored 13 after that in the second quarter, but then they got shut out in the second half. Lions defense played well. They allowed the opening drive touchdown to Marvin Harrison again. Then after that, they only allowed 6 points there. So that was really a good game from them. They had a fourth down stop on 4th and 1. That was nice. Goff had a bad pick. The Cardinals got screwed over by the refs. They should have hit a pick six that would have, I think it would have been 10 to 20 no, it would have been 17-20, I'm pretty sure, going into, or it would have been 17-20. Lions would have got the ball with just under 2 minutes left. And the ref said the 2-minute warning happened before the play, which they blew the whistle. It's like millisecond, it hit 2 on the clock. For the 2-minute warning, they blew it dead. They usually let a second go, so I think the Cardinals kind of got screwed over in that one. And then the Lions scored a touchdown on that. They did a nice play with Amon-Ra, pitched it to Gibbs on a pass. That was a really cool play for the Lions. But then again, their offense kind of stalled out in the scene. They had a nice drive at the end to win the game where I think it was 3rd and 12, and Goff hit Brown, and then later Goff scrambled to seal the game. Yeah, this is a pretty good game. I felt fairly confident with the Lions in this game, and they backed it up. I think they outplayed the Cardinals. They definitely deserve to win this game. Cardinals offense, obviously not a very great game, especially after last week against the Rams. I think the Lions deserve to win this game. Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs and Dave Montgomery. I love when the Lions run the ball. Montgomery went absolutely off. Gibbs had a good game. Tyler played okay. He did have a bad pick, though. He did have one bad pick in the end zone. Yeah, Martin Harrison, pretty solid game. Michael Wilson's, it's kind of a sneaky season so far. He's played pretty good. But yeah, the Cardinals definitely, I think the Lions deserve to win that one for sure. I felt fairly confident with the Ravens in this one, and thank God they didn't blow it. The Ravens dominated this game. They completely dominated. Big Derrick Henry game. They absolutely gashed the Cowboys in the run game. Dallas, they scored 19 in the fourth quarter They cut it to 3. The Ravens to 3rd and 6. I'm like, they're gonna blow the game. And then Zay Flowers hit a clutch catch, and Lamar ended the game with his legs running it. Thank God they didn't blow this game for them. I mean, I wouldn't have really cared too much. So I don't like the Ravens because again, I'm a Patriots fan, but I don't really like the Cowboys too much either. So I was like, whatever. I picked the Ravens, so I guess I was rooting for them. I should said how terrible. I went 6-10 in my picks for the second week in a row. So I guess it's good that they did win because I would have gone 5-11 and they didn't. Yeah, a lot more rush attempts than pass attempts. It kind of seemed the opposite for the Ravens the first 2 weeks. Lamar only attempted 15 passes, really efficient though, included 12 of them. Henry went off. Lamar, typical Lamar rushing day. Justice Hill didn't really get too many carries. The Cowboys pretty much had nothing going on offense until that fourth quarter. It wasn't garbage time, but obviously you can't wait. And that's what the Cowboys done a lot the past couple seasons. They're down 100 late and they make a push and they'll make it a reasonable score to make it look a lot closer than it was. They had a good blitzing day. The Ravens defense, obviously they collapsed in the fourth quarter. Henry, yeah, this reminds Henry had an absolute like vicious stiff. I forget against which DB it was. He had an absolute vicious stiff arm. That was brutal on that DB's part. Good to see Henry look good though. He's on one of my fantasy teams, so thank you, Derrick Henry, for that performance. Cowboys have zero run game. They receiving Lamb needs help. CeeDee Lamb is like no help. Ferguson, but he's your tight end. But as far as wide receivers, Lamb needs help. He looked frustrated. I probably understandably. Um, the Cowboys had a turnover in the red zone. I'm pretty sure it was actually Lamb. I want to say he fumbled it. I think it was only 14 to, I think it was 14 to 3 at that point. So still a game. Obviously, you score there, kick the extra point, it's 14-10. But yeah, Ravens almost blew this one. They looked like the Ravens we expected them to before they kind of collapsed in the fourth quarter there, but they were able to hold on. So, they could not start out 0-3. So good for them. 1-2. It's at 0-3. Definitely a lot better. So good for them. Yeah, typical Ravens football, kind of what we expected. Their offensive line looked a lot better. Cowboys hit the Giants tonight. I think that could be a get right game for them. Oh boy, this game. And let me take a sip of water because I gotta go on a rant here. So yes, this game is very interesting. Water fleet, right? But anyway, uh, the Chiefs have not looked very good. They're 3-0. Obviously, winning is what matters most, but they have not looked like a dominant team, like usually a 3-0 team is. Like the Vikings 3-0, they look a lot better than the Chiefs. Their defense has played good this year, the Chiefs, but their offense just missing a step. Even week one, their offensive step. Obviously, last week they did not play well against the Bengals, got the game handed to them by the refs. They thoroughly outplayed by the Bengals. That's so annoying that they won that game last week. And then this game, their offense, Mahomes has 39 pass attempts. He had 217 yards. That not very a lot of short passing. Mahomes barely even attempted pass beyond like 10 yards. A lot of wide receiver screens. They've run so many wide receiver screens the past 2 years. It's ridiculous. A lot of wide receiver screens to Rashee Rice. He did have a nice deep pass to Rashee Rice. Kelsey, that's a big story. Kelsey's not getting involved really. I just think teams have been covering him more than he has been. It's really the only receiver the Chiefs have now is Rice, so it's just him and Rice out there. And I think Kelsey, it's a combination of him getting covered more than he usually does, and maybe this is the year he kind of lost a step. And saying that, someone said he's going to do probably the worst year of his career, and then he'll like convert some critical third or fourth down to like keep them in the game or seal the game or something in the playoffs. I'm like, yep, I can see that. Make some insane catch. I can already see that happening. But anyway, Mahomes, I'm gonna start calling him Mid Holmes. Very mid season so far for Mahomes. A lot of short passing. I just I mean, Pacheco's out, so if this is the formula they're going to run offensively for every game Pacheco's out, then that's a problem. Just yes, the Falcons defense is really good, but I don't think they're going to be able to stack win upon win upon win. Just the offensive scheme they ran this game. Short, short, short passing, kind of just relying on your defense a lot. If the Falcons defense got some, Mahomes had a pick. He should have had two picks actually. He threw a pass behind Rice on a crossing route that Bates almost, or not, or yeah, Bates almost picked off. Simmons got his sixth interception on Mahomes. Um, yeah. I mean, even though I'm keep bashing their offense, but it did look pretty efficient throughout the game. The Falcons defense got a couple stops, they got a nice red zone stop the opening drive, the third quarter. Shut them out the fourth quarter. Obviously, that's where it matters most. Falcons offense went right down the field, scored touchdown on their opening drive, and he got a touchdown the second there. Obviously, they lost two of their linemen, including their centers. So or center, I mean singular. Um, yeah, that fourth quarter there, they had a nice drive. They went pretty much the length. Well, they got the field goal. They cut it to 5. Then they went the length of the field, and obviously there was the missed PI on Pitts. They would have had first and goal. I'm gonna assume they punch it in first and goal from the 1. You have 4 tries. I'm gonna assume you punch it in there. He had 1 yard and 4 tries. I'm gonna assume that. And so that they didn't call that. Then they had the fourth down. They lobbed it up to Pitts, incomplete. Chiefs went 3-and-out. Falcons, another game-winning drive opportunity. They did get some calls go their way on that one. Maybe he tried make-up call from the refs there from missing the PI, except the horse collar one was definitely 100% the correct call. I think the first flag on that drive, I want to say it was holding or something on the Chiefs. It kind of was questionable. But late in the game there, 4th and inches, and you run an outside zone. Yes, it's easy for me to criticize in general because it didn't work. Obviously, so you're going to criticize it. And, watching from home rather than being a coach on the sideline. But if I'm in that situation, I'm just running the ball up the middle there. And so one of my pet peeves is not just the Falcons, but when it's short yardage situation, like 2nd 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, something like that, and you run like a halfback toss or an outside zone, because what annoys me, actually at the goal line that this annoys me, is that you are assuming you're just kind of hoping all of the guys get blocked defensively, and all it takes is one missed block, and your running back is going to have to improvise and just miss it. Like the Bucs Broncos game, perfect example. Broncos hit a 4th and goal from the 1, and they pitched it outside, so they're pitching it about 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage. And the Bucs had 2 defenders. One of them came in unblocked, or he beat his block immediately. I forget who it was. And the Broncos scored, but I forget who the running back was. They kept subbing them out, but I forget who the running back was. But he had to make like 2 juke moves and sprint his ass off to get the touchdown, rather than just running it up the middle or even sneaking it. It's too much risk for me in a short yardage situation when you throw it behind multiple yards behind the line of scrimmage rather than just playing it safe and running up the middle or something. But anyway, or you could either play action. They had a nice play action play earlier on, or actually no, I think that was the Raiders or the Saints I'm thinking about. They had a play action where it was 3rd and 1, I think. They ran a play action. They tried to get Kamara in the flat, and they had the tight end block and release for a conversion there. They could have ran a play like that. I understand if you don't want to sneak with Cousins, maybe because of his Achilles, but I just did not like that call on an outside zone on 4th and inches. Otherwise, if they convert that, the Chiefs going to have to burn a timeout, and you can kind of play the clock game, punch it in there, score. Obviously, they have Mahomes, so as much as I hate him, he probably, very good chance he drives down the field, especially, maybe with the timeout left, even though timeouts gets him in at least field goal range. So yeah, that maybe win the game, tie the game, depending if they get the 2. But who knows? Chiefs defense stepped up, stopped him. My problem is just the Chiefs have not played a very complete or just typical Chiefs game, and they're just kind of they're winning based on getting, like one play, they step up and make the play. Or last week they won on the PI call, that won them the game. This week they won on their defense making one play against the fourth down stop. I guess the third down stop, if you want to count that too, to get to the fourth down stop. And then week one, Lamar missed Zay Flowers wide open, and then he hit Likely. He also missed, I think it was yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Likely too on the first and goal. Maybe it was second and goal. I think it was first and goal. The corner there, when Likely got hurt and it looked like he was done, then he came back. Obviously, caught that fourth and goal pass. He was just out of bounds by an inch. So the Ravens score that. They're going for two. Who knows if the Chiefs stop them or not? So there's, yeah, literally inches away from a chance for the Ravens to go for two, tie the game, a PI call away, and then a potentially missed Kyle Pitts obvious DPI or a fourth down stop on a questionable play call from being 0-3. They at least should be 2-1 at bare minimum because the refs certainly handed them the game last week after getting outplayed. So the Chiefs, they're 3-0, just pisses me off because they should not be. Should be 2-1 again at minimum. Maybe you can make an argument 0-3 or 1-2, but they're 3-0. Keep finding ways to win. That's what good teams do, even if you don't play very well. They play the Chargers this week. They'll probably win this game fairly handedly, especially with all the Chargers injuries. But yeah, I just hate the Chiefs. I cannot stand them. Hate Mahomes. Just cannot stand the Chiefs. Yeah, Falcons good, kind of a good defensive game. Cousins look good. Their offense definitely has its moments. They just got to get healthy up front with the offensive line. That's a big part of their run game there. Jags Bills, boy, I picked the Bills in this one, but I was saying how I would not be too surprised if the Jags won this one. This could be a trap game. Jags just got their asses kicked, just an absolute ass beating. The Bills dominated them, just got anything going. Their Jags defense played pretty well the first 2 weeks, but they just got absolutely slaughtered this week. Bills got anything to go that they wanted them to. Yeah, outgame in yards, passing yards, rushing yards, they gained them out in pretty much everything. Jags had nothing until the second half, no offense really, when the game was pretty much over. Even late, my guy Mac Jones came in. He had kind of a pretty bad fumble there, and then after that he leads the obviously game's over. He led a pretty good drive. I forget who the receiver was. He hit him right in the hands, absolute dot on fourth and goal and dropped. That's a pretty good story of Mac Jones' NFL career so far. Just a dime and a drop. Yeah, their run game looked good. Cook looked good. Josh Allen looked good. The Bills defense played extremely well the past 2 weeks. Kind of an iffy game week one, but past 2 weeks they played extremely well. Jags, I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. I don't know. Jesus, God, I don't know. They've just looked horrible. They've looked horrible. They looked good week one for about 2.5 quarters, and ever since then they've just looked pretty terrible. They could have beaten the Browns last week too, so they could have been 2-0 coming into this game. They could be 2-1 right now, but they're 0-3. They certainly are playing like an 0-3 team. Just an awful, like just not a good performance from them. The Bills swatted them. They deserved to win. Trevor Lawrence did not look very good. He had a bad pick to Hamlin, so he'll be getting memed for that one probably. Etienne had some good rushes, but it was kind of when the game was over. The Bills' run defense is not very good, but the problem is they've gone up by such big margins the past 2 weeks. It doesn't really show because the teams just have to go pass heavy. Kirk finally had a good game, but again, most of it was in the second half when the game was over. Yeah, Josh Allen, really good game. I'll say 4 touchdowns, good game rushing. He's their leading rusher. Yeah, just Bill swatted them. They certainly deserved this one. I don't know what the hell is wrong with the Jags. They are just a mess right now. Yeah, did not expect that. I expected the Bills to win. but not in that fashion. I just want to see the team stats in this one. I don't know if I went to this tab. I was mainly ranting. Yeah, see, yards per play, I mean, not even 4.8 for the Chiefs. That's not typical Chiefs. A lot of short passing in this one for them. Pretty fairly even game across the board, though. I mean, time possession, that kind of killed the Falcons, a little extra plays. Yeah. Um, she's kind of got some more rushing than I was expecting. Yeah, Cardinals had 17 carries. They ran on the first down way too much, I think, though. But anyway, oh, this game. I had to take a sip of water for this one too. So I am absolutely shocked the Commanders won. I talked about it in my picks video. I think I said I would absolutely be shocked if the Commanders won. Exactly what happened. Although I did say I think the Bengals offense torches their defense, the Commanders said they did torch their defense. They went up and down the field the whole game. I love the Bengals offensive scheme. A lot of short passing, kind of get yards after the catch. I really like their scheme. Joe Burrow, really efficient game. 324, 3 touchdowns, really high completion percentage. Jayden Daniels, that's a big story. Absolute masterclass of a game by Jayden Daniels. He had some really good rushes too. Yeah, he's again their leading rusher. That's going to be a problem in the long run if your quarterback is your leading rusher. But obviously not for this game. They won. But Jayden Daniels, he only had 2 incompletions. I mean, really, the Bengals defense, that's a problem. Cam Taylor-Britt keeps talking so much shit, keeps getting torched. I mean, the Bengals defense just could not stop them. That was just bad. I mean, they scored in every quarter. They at least scored a touchdown in every quarter. That's a problem. The Commanders defense difference in this game. Commanders defense did stiffen on in the red zone there. Held the Bengals to 2 field goals in the second quarter. McPherson missed one. That kind of came back to bite them. And late in the game, the Bengals down 2 scores. They were down 11. They scored, went for 2 to cut it to 3. There should have been a flag on the Commanders on Higgins there. Maybe they get it. Maybe they don't. On the retry, who knows? That could have changed the game. I mean, Bengals open. They got the ball to start. What, 4, 5 play drive? Chase gets a 40-something yard touchdown. I'm like, yep, the Bengals just going to blow them out in this one. But nope, Commanders' offense was just unstoppable. Bengals' defense, that was just so bad. Such a bad performance in the Bengals' defense. I mean, late in the game, Bengals down 11, they score. And then the Commanders' defense, that's when I'm like, okay, yep. Kind of had a gut feeling their defense is going to force a stop. They finally got, I think they only sacked Daniels once. He had so many escape sacks that he had. Let me see. 2 times, I guess. I don't remember the other one, but they sacked Daniels. It was Hendrickson. I'm pretty sure got the sack. I'm like, yep, here we go. They're gonna force a punt. Joe Burrow is gonna go down the field, score, be the hero. They're gonna get their first win. It's a gritty Washington team. Nope. It was 2nd and 20, I think. They ran a wide receiver screen, got about 8. Then they ran literally the same exact play, I think, another wide receiver screen. They got about 8 again, and it was 4th and 4 and wide open. Zach Ertz uncovered. I don't know what the hell happened, but I see the Bengals stopped them there. They're down. I think they would have been down. Yeah, they stopped them there. They were only down. They were down 11. Got the touch. Trying to remember what happened. Let me think here. Yeah, okay, so yes, they were down. Yeah, they got the 10 and missed the 2. Yes, they were down 5. So if they shot them there down 5, then go down, score a touchdown, take the lead. They could have, played the clock game. But nope, they didn't stop them. And then following set of downs, I think it was 3rd and 7. Bengals sent an all-out blitz, and Gene Daniels throws it up. McLaurin catches it for a touchdown. That was a beauty of a pass. But even if that's incomplete, the Commanders kick a field goal. They're up 8. Obviously, the Bengals can score, get a 2-point and tie for overtime. So that was a big play too. That was just wow. I'm very surprised at how well the Commanders' offense played. And I know the Bengals are dealing with injuries up front, but it wasn't even really the run game that killed the Bengals. It was more the pass game. I mean, Eckler, he got hurt, but he looked pretty good in this game. But I mean, they didn't really get much rushing. It was just passing. I mean, the only thing I can think is the Commanders maybe just prepared for Jane Daniels scrambling too much and just disregarded their pass game. But I mean, you can't really do that as a defense and you're preparing for an opponent. But that's the only thing I can think of. Bengals are 0-3. I picked them to win the Super Bowl, so this obviously looks like it probably looks like I'm an idiot that knows nothing about football, especially with how terrible my picks have been this year, barely above 500. But I don't know. I mean, the Bengals offense played really good the past 2 weeks. They obviously didn't look good against us week one. Past 2 weeks, their offense has looked good. Not concerned with their offense. Their defense has played well the first 2 weeks, obviously abysmal in this one. They play the Panthers, who obviously I talked about it a bit already, but Panthers obviously look good. I think they come back down to earth in this game. Bengals, I mean, when they play the Bengals, I'm talking about this week. I think the Bengals end up winning that game, getting back on track. They cannot afford to go 0-4. They know that they're playing, a Panthers team that looked like absolute shit the first 2 weeks. Kind of had a surprise game week 3. They know they cannot go 0-4, especially when you play the Panthers. Um, could be an Andy Dalton revenge game though. But yeah, the Bengals defense, just I cannot believe how bad they played. Cannot believe how bad they played. I mean, the Bengals have over 7 yards of play offensively. Mike Gesicki's looked really good for them so far this year. He did nothing for us last year except that he got that game winner against the Bills, but that was pretty much it. I mean, the Bengals offensively they played such a good game. Just kind of a shame that their defense played so poorly. Commanders are 2-1. That's definitely a surprise. Absolutely shocked that they beat the Bengals in this one. Absolutely shocked. Everyone's survivor pool picks must have been tanked this week. Bengals, Niners, Bucks, and Raiders, I think were probably, I don't know if it's a fact, but I assume those are the most common survivor pool picks, and they all lost. In my league, there's 100 something people left out of the 400 something that started, and I think it's down to 20 something. So yeah. Also randomly remembered this game or this point too. Getting back to this game, Raheem Morris had some questionable timeout. It didn't matter because they lost, not because of the timeouts, but he called a timeout. I'm trying to think exactly what happened. He called the timeout like immediately as soon as they yeah, as soon as they got the 3rd and 1, Drake London broke off the tackle. It was like 2nd and 11 or 2nd and 12, I think. And he called the timeout immediately. I wanted to call the timeout there, especially you want to kind of chew clock in that situation. You're going to assume your offense is going to score. Hopefully, you have faith they're going to score a touchdown. You want to leave Mahomes as little time as possible. And then as soon as they didn't get the 3rd down, he called another timeout, but they granted it to the Chiefs. That was kind of some questionable clock management on Raheem Morris's part, but I don't know. I just randomly remembered that. Wanted to talk about that. But yeah, a lot of upsets this week. Just like last week, I'm just praying there's not this many upsets going forward. Oh my God, all my betting money's gone. All my fantasy teams are kind of a mixed performance, but the ones I really care about kind of putting up shitters this year. Yeah, just really surprised at a lot of the results in these past 2 weeks. Pretty good games this upcoming week though. But anything else? Got all the games. Yeah. All right. I think that'll pretty much do it for this video. So I'll end the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys had a better week at picks and in fantasy and betting than I did this week and last week. But yep, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be back probably Saturday, hopefully Saturday, maybe even tomorrow, but probably Saturday with my week 4 picks video. So be on the lookout for that. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed. Take it easy and yeah, get ready for another week of football with hopefully not as many upsets. All right, thanks guys. Take it easy.